Well, hello there, everyone. It's like I have right here is like Top Ice for Birthday Award, and I'm sure that most of us have seen these type of clips of art right here that I had worked right here. Using Illustrator and then was using Photoshop as well. But you see right here is while I was working this, it looks kind of like a like a birth kind of like a if we want to call it like that type of clip art to where that whenever you put together like a collage of different images and different postings and stuff like that, and anything that more likely represents like a collage of like a collection though. But also talking about for like budgeting that if most of us have seen from the mobile app right here, talk about for confirmation as well as for heel recovering and as well as service and non-refundable, that type of stuff. Talk about for any type of a wireless service. You have right here is a picture right here of me that I would use for one of my web designing projects, and then right here, I'm sure most of us have seen this right here. The baby picture on my first birthday, and as well as the painting illustration of my graduation. And the baby, the original, say that the baby look right here, and as well as the grade book. So whatever we're thinking about is like for the birthday though, it is that thinking about for $1,500, for $1,500, and also knowing about you have right here is like for the next page, I went ahead and if we seen this math configurations right here, and yeah, the same stuff that I'm sure that we've seen already, but on the other hand, it seems like to where yeah that for the year 2016 and then for 2018 that we weren't to where that yeah that nowadays it seems like to where that $300 or $400. Yep, not a whole lot of money. So the way we think about it, I'm like, yeah, that now when that type of stuff that we may have played on, like I know it's like on a Monopoly game, to where that the amount of money that like in play money that we may have counted between $400 and $500. So back those couple years ago, yeah, that we may have what we were looking at maybe on the birthday cake, to where it's like so far it's all about the taste and enjoyment, so it's for the special occasion. But then on the other hand, that if we would have got maybe maybe $10 or maybe 25 or so dollars inside of a birthday card, but really has it been 1,500? And to me it sounds like maybe something that may come maybe on a tax return, or whenever you buy a new car or home that you may that you may get awarded some money like that, like such as if it's going to be an anniversary for how long a place has been in business for, or something like that, if it's car dealerships or anything like that. So anything that more likely anybody between the age of 16 and maybe 26 and 27, maybe 30 or 35, or maybe in their 40s, that may think about is to where that yeah, what's one thing that they want to do for their birthday? They want to go out and buy a nice looking sports car or something, and then you're like always wondering to where where's the money going to come from? If you have enough money to afford it. So whenever we look at this right here, is whenever it seems like blue has been my favorite color since I can remember. So a lot of times, like we may use like a if it's going to be any type of a blue, there may be a number of names for different type of blue right here, and I'm sure most of us have seen this great book right here, as well as this right here talk about say we're wireless for service, and then that right here is like for my birthday, but on the other hand, too, that I don't really know necessarily about I guess it's like about the whole part about birthday award to where that yeah, are you gonna be more likely to be granted some more income later on in the next 2 years or so, since we may think about, I'm like, yeah, that the prices to a lot of things have gone up. The tuition costs as well as for utility bill costs, and if it's going to be car payments and especially mortgage payments, and taking care of our taxes, that type of stuff. So nowadays it seems like yeah, $700, that may seem like a lot of money maybe back in 1995, that we may think that yeah, that that from I don't even know if this picture right here was taken from whenever I was in math class. But anyway, the way I think about it, though, is that if I were to be in math class and then be solving a number of problems, and like say, for how much does 3 go into 50, and you can solve these math problems right here. So I can remember that back in those days, if I were to be taking an econ math test and be kind of stuck on a problem to where I'm trying to solve it, it seems like to where, yeah, that well, you don't know the answer, and that there's other people there, there's other students or whoever that may be taking the similar test, and then they just go ahead and go right through, those test problems, and it seems like to where that, yeah, that I keep thinking about, well, I may be the only one, who seems like to where that, the notes that I do have, but then of course I'm trying to figure out how to solve this problem. So it seems like to where, yeah, that I know that anybody that who has complications with that, to where they may think to where it's that time in a moment to where that they just really do want to guess, or they just want to go ahead and leave it blank. But I can remember the few teachers I've had in the past that told me is like, yeah, that try not to leave any of the answers, blank. Try not to leave any of the word problems blank. If anything, ask for help if it's needed. So it's like, whenever we work the math, though, is that, like for like any type of birthdays. Any birthdays, it's supposed to be at the fun and celebration, as well as you turn a year older, and then that knowing of being with family and friends, that type of stuff. And on your hand, and we're like Warren to where really for $1,500, I was also thinking about maybe using $3,000 up to 4 or 5 grand. And I know that back at around this time, that like for 20 right there, that's like supposed to be like a sports shirt right there. But you have right here is like a example right here of like from my my birthday right here, and you're like Warren to where that, yeah, 3 years from now, it's like possibly to where that is it possible to where anybody who's filing their taxes, that they may see a little bit more money on their return, maybe they get a job somewhere, that type of stuff. But if it's all about maybe solving word problems as well, and as well as that for like a birthday award, as to where that whoever that solves the problem, more likely that gets the award. But on your hand too, and anything that's really like for improvement for education, really. But that's the way I think about it. Maybe an award is not promised each and every time, but then on your hand, that what is basically promised is to where that, yeah, is to keep it in mind, to where that yeah, that any guidance is to where there is somebody else who has the same problems it is, that they're trying to solve something, or they kind of keep that on reference to where it's like keep on notes to where anything that you may find out about any mistakes or anything like that, to help improve the score. It's like to help improve the performance of the education and the ability. But top to say for the birthday award is to where nowadays it seems like $800 is not really a whole lot of money to pay for everything. But if we're talking about up to $1,500, so that back whenever I was young, I didn't know really what $1,000 was. So look at these pictures right here, and like Warren to where that I was lucky really to even know about what a dollar bill looked like. And then now it's like Warren to where and going through these math problems. And really, what came first? Was it the math problem solving, or was it that counting of the money and the points? So anybody that may like think about, yeah, well, we all know that more likely, in the 4th and 5th grade, that we had word problems. But then on your hand too, that, yeah, if you had $5 or maybe $10 or maybe $500 or maybe $1,500, that how do you think you was spending that? And I can remember that in math class, that I can remember that they say that yeah, that a few kids that I think that they did know what that certain amount of money was, but then they just didn't have it. So nowadays it seems like, yeah, 20 years later, you may start seeing that amount of money maybe on a tax return, or maybe if it's after you just purchase a car, or help improvement on education, that more likely we may see that. But then on your hand too, that you're like wanting to, or by the time we do see it, and then that the next question will be like, well, what are you going to do with all that money? Well, save it or use it for utilities. Use it for other expenses, whichever that you need. Other than that, that's all for birthday award. Thanks for watching.